Good morning, everyone. Welcome to November Morning with Mayesh. I just wanted to quickly apologize for my lovely voice that you're hearing right now. I'm a little under the weather, but hopefully I can get through this without losing my voice and we'll be good, right? The show must go on. So before we get started, I just wanted to welcome everyone, give everyone a chance to come on in. And we don't have any viewers quite yet. Allie, can you make sure that it's going on Facebook? Thank you. So we're going to check that, make sure that's working well. There we go. It's popping. Oh, good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Erica. Yeah, let us know where you're from. I want to know where you're at. This is always so much fun. I love seeing that. Good morning, guys. From Oklahoma. Good morning. While everyone's getting settled in, I just wanted to do some housekeeping, introduce myself in case you don't know who I am. I'm Yvonne Ashton. I'm the marketing director here at Mayesh. And I'm here today with Dave Taggy and Shelly Manning. And we also have a special guest joining us today, Demarse of Fresh Bouquet. Also, my teammate Allie is in the control room. She's going to be helping with links and maybe answering some questions in the comments. And so just keep an eye out for that as well. I also, while you guys are coming in, I wanted to let everyone know about our 2018 Mayesh Design Star Flower Workshop Tour. If you don't know about it, make sure that you go over to our website, mayesh.com, check that out. Kaylee Young is our new Design Star, and she's amazing. I think you guys are going to love learning from her this next year. And we already have our video shoot scheduled at the end of the month, so that way we have a nice fresh January video ready for you guys to go. But for the tour, it's very exciting. We're doing 4 U.S. cities, and we're also doing international workshop experience that you guys don't want to miss. It's going to be in Quito, Ecuador. It's going to be amazing. We're staying at a hacienda, bringing in another designer, Veronica, who's doing our Spanish design videos. If you guys have not seen those, make sure to check them out. Even if you don't speak Spanish, that's okay. I think you still can learn from her. It's pretty amazing. And so I just wanted to make sure and invite you guys to check that out because I'm super excited about it and I hope to see you guys at all of the workshops. Okay, so who else is here? Let me see. I have Sophie from Phoenix. Good morning. Anna from Mississippi. Muffy from Castle Rock. I have so many. Jen from our team is here. Good morning. I love it. Good morning, guys. Again, I'm probably going to be drinking lots of tea while I'm talking, so that way I don't cough in your face the whole entire time. I'm so sorry. Okay, so while we're going to get started here in a minute, but can you guys just take 1 minute to share this on Facebook? Let people know that you're watching, and it's going to be this great flower show, talking about flowers, flower design, what's available, answering your guys' questions. Seriously, you guys can ask us anything and we'll try our best to answer it. Guys, you ready to get started? Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, good morning. And let me start officially so that way I can cut off the first half of it, right? All right, so welcome guys to Morning with Mayesh. I'm here with Dave and Shelly, and thank you for joining us this month. We're going to get started now with our first topic of what's going on in the world of flowers. Dave, you want to take it away?
They're back.
I love it.
My favorite. Reunions are back, everybody. We're getting my absolute favorite in, which is the coral charm I just showed you. The reds, burgundies, whites, all the shades of pinks are back. Just to spice up your wedding and high-end designs. These are being imported currently from both Chile and New Zealand. They do arrive to us in a tight state, so you need to remember to get them shipped early enough to get them open. It takes about 4 or 5 days for most peony varieties. Some a little bit longer. So, one more peek.
I never can get enough of peonies.
I know, they're fabulous. Okay, moving on. Remember back in the 90s when Martha Stewart said she was bringing back the carnation? Well, it's taken about another 30 years of continued efforts, lots of hybridizing and crossbreeding and messing around with the genetics, but They're back in style now, and they're coming in colors that we have never ever dreamed about back then. All the muted varieties, the beiges, the kind of gray colors, lavenders, everything that's hot right now. You can view most of the newer varieties on our website online library at mayesh.com. Actually, I was poking around in our Mayesh market the other day, and there were some boxes of some of the newer varieties. So they're really available now and in a bunch of different really funky colors. We put together a little chart of some of the favorite colors. If we can't get it up on the, there we go, right there.
Yeah, I kicked off Shelly real quick.
So as you can see, there are a lot of cool muted colors and different variegations, and this is just a small sample of the different varieties that are available now. Absolutely amazing. Who thought, right? Carnations, but they're really hot. Anyway, thank you for putting that up there.
Yeah.
Also, fall is traditionally a time for textured items, and I wanted to feature cotton on the stem today. Cotton has traditionally been used to celebrate the second wedding anniversary. It's in our inventories now. This is the time of year when it's available, and it looks really good. It's become very popular for wedding work, events, or just a textural pop in any of your arrangements. I'm featuring one of our local florists' work. She's incorporated into some beautiful bridal bouquets. Give her a big shout out. Thank you, Nicole Helly from the Wildflower AZ, for sharing this with us.
An extra shout out because she just always is really great about tagging us, and I love her work. And we just shared her Halloween video. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was freaking amazing. Seriously amazing. It's on our blog. You guys have to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's very special.
We love.
Met her, but I love her.
We're gonna have to make that happen then. Thank you, Nicole. And I just wanted to share my thought on it is how awesome it is these days that there's so many different textural elements that we can use in floral design, moving away from the traditional just florals with all this fun stuff that's available. So anyway, another one of those awesome textural items that's become very popular, and it's locally grown right now, is kale. Kale likes the cool Pacific Coast nights and warm days to really proliferate. So we're getting the really big domestic stuff now. It's a decorative variety of cabbage. Probably don't want to eat this one though. They become increasingly popular in floral design due to their shape, their amazing color, and their durability. They last really long.
I love the colors.
Totally coming into season now. Get them at Mayesh.
Yeah, I think that's all for the pictures, right?
Yeah, that's all the photos I had to share today. There's so many different awesome textures and colors available right now, and you can find a complete list of what's hot at www.mayesh.com. I also wanted to remind everyone that we're taking pre-books for Christmas wreaths, garlands, greens, flowers, plants, etc. Call your favorite Mayesh rep for a price list. If you need us to pull up last year's sales report so that it can help you in planning your purchasing, we're glad to do that for you for any holiday or any time. Give us a call.
I love it. When we were talking, Erica asked, where's the video? I love that I can do that. So, right? So cool. So Erica, that video is up on our blog, and I think we posted it on Instagram and all of that. So Allie will go ahead and get that link for you. It's the Halloween blog post that we did with the video. Hopefully,
and a forbidden elopement.
Yeah, forbidden elopement. It was beautiful. Awesome. Good stuff, Dave. Thank you for sharing. I lost my notes, so just give me a second to get back together. All right. Oh, and Shelly, I know you had something that you wanted to talk about in terms of what's going on with flowers.
Are you guys able to see me?
Yes.
I can see you.
Okay. All right. Good morning.
Your big picture right now.
Lots of fun things happening. The textural, definitely. Lots of drieds are very popular right now. We're seeing a lot of pampas grass, lunaria. Drieds have just made a huge comeback, just like the carnations. I remember using drieds years and years ago in Texas. It was popular. Schuster's of Texas, we used to buy drieds from. Now people are wanting to incorporate that because it's very popular in the boho look. So it's really been fun to see that kind of come back. Pampas grass we can't keep in right now. Lunaria I think is just completely sold out across the country. If you know that little silver money dollar look. But drieds are great, and they're also eco-friendly. So in a great way to repurpose and use product. We are actually selling drieds here now. We dry a lot of product here, so it's been fun. Yeah,
I think that's really cool. Maybe we can do a blog post about that, because I know we are involved with a recent shoot, and I had a whole bunch of the lunaria. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, lunaria.
Yeah, and then the pampas grass. Yeah, it's been like everywhere. It's also in our latest video, which I think I mentioned already, but just in case you guys just joined me, I just feel like it needs a little extra props, because it was shared over 400 times our November video already. It's only the 7th. Put it out on the 1st. And
That's
it has
great.
over 70,000 views. I know, like, Facebook views is a little different than YouTube views, right? It's like 3 seconds count as a view. But still, when it's in proportion to all of our other videos, it's really rocking the world. So it's pretty exciting. Love it. Okay. What is up next, guys? We have floral design questions. I saw this posted in this first question in a Facebook group, and I just thought it was good to know, because I feel like some people still don't do it correctly. So the question is, how long do you soak your oasis for? Shelly, what do you say?
Well, Oasis brand floral products or any floral foam, it doesn't take very long for it to soak. It just a few minutes. The trick to soaking it properly, though, is to fill your basin with water and then gently let them sink to the bottom. A lot of people want to try to push the Oasis in. They're in a hurry, so they want to push it down. What happens, they'll create a dry center, a dry socket. It's very important that you let it soak. And then the one side of Oasis actually has little holes in it. That's so that you can put that down towards the water surface, and that will help that water absorb faster and a little more easily. So it's very important to make sure that you prep early and think about ahead of time. Oh yeah, I should probably soak my Oasis now. Try to do that in the morning before you're getting ready for any kind of designing, so that they're ready for you. But it literally just takes a few minutes. You just have to be patient and set yourself up and prep it first. And make sure you don't compress Oasis either. A lot of people will try to smush it into containers, and that makes it difficult to insert stems into. Yeah, just a few minutes. It doesn't take long.
That's great tips. I know there were some people saying that they, even after it gets to the bottom, that they let it soak there for even longer, but I don't think that's really necessary, right? Like once it gets to the bottom, it's totally saturated.
Yeah, it takes probably 5 or 10 minutes for it to soak. It's just a matter of how you lay it in. Some people use specific containers for Oasis, or buckets, or a sink, but make sure that you're also keeping your container clean. If you're using that container continuously to soak your Oasis, make sure you wash it out once a week with bleach. Oasis has floral preservative in it, but that is not going to keep bacteria from growing indefinitely. So you have to keep that clean, dump that water out, make sure you're properly disposing of Oasis and Oasis water, or I should say any floral foam products. Oasis is a brand, but we all call it the Floral Bix Oasis. But make sure you're disposing of that properly, and you're taking care of the environment with that product as well.
Great tip. Thank you, Shelly.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I mentioned earlier, our Design Start video this month talks about creating a large or any size really floral hoop. Christy talks about that, and Christy's here. Hey, Christy. And there was so many questions about how the bones of the hoop got created. And so I just wanted to address a couple of those questions. And she had her husband create it for her using electrical metallic tubing, also known as EMT in the electrical world. And she pretty much said any kind of metalsmith kind of person can make one of these for you fairly inexpensive. So I would just connect with someone like that. My husband is an electrician. He made hers. And we also had a bunch of questions on how the hoop was hung, because it looks like it's just kind of suspended in air. And she often uses, and even during the workshop, she uses these things called the aircraft cable. She buys kits with the Y hook, and pretty much you can get them at any kind of electrical supply house. And I also found them on Amazon. So if you want to check that out, then that would be your answer for that. So really great questions, and I am looking forward to for all the people who want to try this out. I would love to see the end results and what your designs look like. I love seeing what you guys do with all of this stuff. So show us. On to the next question. This one's from Instagram. It was a great one. When designing items for weddings, what items do you make first and how far in advance? She says, I typically start with my wearables, sometimes my centerpieces, but I always want the best flowers for my bouquets until I do those next. I'm not really sure what the best process is. Shelly, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I kind of design the same way. I usually will choose the choicest blooms from the product that I've purchased from my wholesaler, Mayesh, hopefully it's from us. And you tend to kind of go through and sort those flowers first to make sure you've got all the premium, pretty product, the perfect blooms for the bridal and personal. I always start with the personals generally for me because I feel like I have the best energy at that time. I'm focused on the wedding, sort of sets the tone of what I'm doing, kind of gets me excited about what I'm doing. But it's really up to you. It's up to how much space you have to work in, cooler space, and staff. You could have some staff that's working on personals and some staff that starts on centerpieces. A lot of florists in the trade, whether they're very small or large event companies, will start production on Wednesday usually, earlier in the week for prepping hard goods and getting all the rentals ready. There's nothing to stop you from using the entire week to get ready for your wedding on the weekend. It's all about prepping ahead of time. But Wednesday's a good day to start doing anything where it comes to greening, getting things that you can already get in water and store it in your cooler. And sometimes the personals we'll work on Friday because we want those to also be very fresh and look great. And I feel like sometimes when you do them a little too early, they get a little shop worn looking if they're stored too long. But I prefer working on them on Friday, the Friday of if this is a Saturday wedding. But honestly, it's really whatever works for you in your studio or shop situation. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. But planning ahead and prepping ahead is really the key to it. So start early in the week. Don't wait till Thursday, Friday, and go, oh, okay, where do I begin? Get a plan. Have your week set out for you. Have how you're going to do it.
Yeah. Letitia says, I start with my personals as well. And also, hold on, I love doing this. Hold on, I do this one too. And she says, I agree 100%. I start on Monday. She tries to start early in the week. Thanks, Letitia. I love that. Great. Good stuff. Okay, let's move on, right? Flower business. So I posted just asking for questions on Instagram yesterday, and someone asked, why haven't we opened in Chicago yet? And I get asked that question pretty much anywhere we go, that we don't have a branch, and it's the same answer. We always want to try and make everyone happy. We've been opening branches, Portland and Houston being our most recent, and we just have to grow slowly but surely. The good thing is even though we don't have a local branch everywhere, we do ship everywhere. So Chicago, it's kind of in between LA and Miami, so I pick either one of those and work with someone from one of those branches. They're both amazing. So hopefully that helps. And I'm sorry that we're not in Chicago yet. Do you guys pay attention? Dave and Shelley, do you guys pay attention to what's going on in social media world? I don't know. Do you guys know about the Instagram dual live video right now happening?
Oh, I haven't heard about that.
Yes, I did a live video and I just didn't have time because I was running behind today. But if you guys are on Instagram and you do live video, and I hope that you're starting to do live video, I hope like watching the show. And I see a lot of other people doing live videos like Sarah from Intrigued and Alice, I think. Everyone's doing all of these really amazing things with live video. It's really important for your business. It's something that kind of Facebook is really pushing. And because Facebook is pushing it, it's also being pushed on Instagram. And one of the downfalls for Instagram is that there wasn't really any way to kind of do this type of thing, right? So they're kind of making that step where you can have two people on a live video together. So if you do a live video and you have the new update, you're going to see a little icon that kind of has like two people. Click that and you can invite people then onto your live video. Super, super cool. I also wanted to mention Instagram stories, guys, has hit over 300 million users. 300 million. Let that sink in, okay? That's about half of overall Instagram followers. And so that's important. Again, it ties in with the live video. You don't have to do video. You can do regular posts. We do a little bit of both. But if you haven't started kind of playing around with vertical video, with stories, you need to start now. It's important. You got to constantly evolve, and this is part of that. So are you comfortable? Do you guys do live video? Do you start shooting film or any of the videos vertically? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Also related to Instagram is, I want to share my screen real quick. Hold on. I'm going to put you down, Dave. I want to share. Oh, I messed up on that. I'll add it to my notes. I'm going to add Dave back. So the thing about Instagram is it's now showing viewers story previews when you scroll about halfway through your feed. So I don't know if you guys have seen that. Allie's going to share the link so you guys can see what I was going to show you. I messed up with sharing my desktop. It's set up just to only show one document instead of my whole desktop. I'm sorry about that. But anyhow, that's really cool. Again, stories are important, and showing the previews is really cool because it shows literally like maybe I think the first frame of your story, and then it has your bio pic kind of on top of that. So again, it's just another way to get noticed. If people ignore the circles at the top, which are still there, by the way, they scroll through their feed. I saw the circles halfway through my feed a few times. I haven't seen this new preview, but that is rolling out. So again, just something really cool. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew about it. That way you're on the up and up with all this marketing stuff that's changing. The other thing, do you guys still use Facebook? Who uses Facebook here? I feel like there's so many people on Instagram. Do you guys like Facebook? I like Facebook for my personal stuff a lot, and business stuff. But Facebook is realizing they always want to keep people like on Facebook, right? It's a big thing. Everything needs to be native to Facebook and all of that jazz. And so now they've been really focusing on time spent, but they want to focus on time well spent. So for example, our latest design video, as I've mentioned, has over 70,000 views, but that's 3 seconds is counted as a view. How many of those are actually staying and watching the video? I'm not really sure, but marketers need to start focusing on, still focus, I think it's always been a focus of the quality content, engaging content. Otherwise, you're just going to get pushed farther and farther down with the algorithm changes that Facebook makes. Awesome. You guys I have a couple other questions if we want to take a couple minutes. You guys want to do that with me?
Sure.
All right, so I saw someone in here ask this too. Let me see if I can find it. Something about, oh, this one. You all did your hydrangea. I have this kind of question about how do you make your hydrangeas nutritious. I know we tackled that a couple of times. So we want to talk about that. Anyone want to take that one?
Yeah, actually, alum is a old, I don't want to say wives' tale because some of those old wives' tales actually work, but they've done a lot of research on woody stemmed processing, and they've found that actually if you scrape off the dermal layer of it, it actually creates more surface for those stems to take water in than using alum. There's a lot of better technology out there now. as far as floral foods and proper hydrating methods, I think, than alum. So.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Shelly, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I think we're having some background noise, so I'm trying to mute myself because you guys know I'm in a warehouse, so usually it's not too bad, but today I think it might be a little bit noisy, so I apologize for that. I have never used those products for hydrangea. I usually just make sure that I soak hydrangea and hydrate it, the white especially. Any of the newer green, whiter green is usually the ones that tend to go down the fastest, but I will try that though. I've never used that product. Mostly soaking for me.
All right, the next question is from Albert and wants to know the best way to attach fresh flowers to curly willow.
Well, if you're needing to, you can always use wire or Oasis strapping tape. You can also water tube that product and use moss around it to conceal it if you need those flowers to last longer. But if it's sturdy stems of curly willow, it should be easy enough just to use Oasis strapping tape or wire. Either one of those will work.
Yeah, and if it's
glue dots.
Yeah, you say that if it's a lighter, it's not heavy flower, and you don't need it to last super long, or this flower might last long on its own. I love you glue dots. I just used those this past weekend. I used them home for random things. They're the best.
And cold Oasis glue, just the regular cold glue, works as well for individual blooms.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna have you mute yourself again, Shelly, if that's okay.
Okay, sure thing.
Thank you. What is your most common flower or color order? Dave, do you have any thoughts? I don't know if there's a most common.
Probably red roses. I mean, it seems to be a staple of everything all the time. Here in Arizona, the pincushion protea is probably the most popular flower because it kind of gives you that desert Southwest feel. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say red roses and pincushion proteas are probably the two most common things. White hydrangea is really popular too. Believe it or not, it actually lasts really well out here.
That's great. Shelly, do you have anything? I know.
I'm trying to adjust my microphone because used to you guys couldn't hear our background noise, so I think that's a problem. Our most, without a doubt, same with Dave, is the white hydrangeas and red roses we sell probably more of than any product. White hydrangeas have become like the bread and butter of the floral world, so I think that's the most common. Carnations are actually really picking up steam, the specialty colors we were talking about earlier. A lot of my, especially my newer florists who are not so adverse to them, they don't, the poor much maligned carnation, but they will buy 100 to 200 at a time for their weddings just to fill in for color, for color palettes. Not anymore about the flower, it's about the color palette. So that's been very popular. Yeah. Muting again.
Awesome. And then Shelly, when you're muting, maybe turn your gain button down.
Yeah, I have, yeah. We'll work on
that. Sorry guys about that. What other, let's see, I think we have someone, again, I'm not sure what the best answer for this is, and maybe everyone that's listening might have a good answer for this person, but they want to know what would be a standard order to have on hand for Monday morning at a flower shop. Do you have any ideas about that?
That's going to depend on the demographics of your area. Here in Phoenix, it could be pom-poms and carnations on the west side, and if you're in Scottsdale, it could be hydrangeas and orchid plants or whatever. Really, that's going to be all across the board, and depending on your area too, because people are going for different looks. So that's a hard one to answer.
It is a hard one. I know. Do you guys, anyone that's listening, maybe share your thoughts on that, and I can always add it to the show notes if anyone has a really great answer to that. And I don't know if you guys will know this off the top of your heads either, but porcelain berry, is that available late February? Someone asked.
It's cool vine.
Do you know if it's available in February?
Oh, do I know if it's available? I'd have to do some research on that, but we can definitely look that up. It'll take me a little bit to get the answer on that.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was like September, August, September, maybe like a summer, maybe late summer, early fall availability. But let us research that so we can get you the right answer.
Perfect. Yeah. It came in last minute, and I know we had a few other questions, but I need to move on. I did want to go back to standard order for Monday morning. I'm starting to lose my voice. Hold on. Let me just take one sip. Sorry. Okay. Christy, our design star, is watching. I always love when she's here. And she says, in Statesboro, she always has hydrangea, roses, carnations in stock for them every week. That's what she orders. Let me show that too. I love this. There we go. That's so cool. I love it. I'm so easily amused. Thank you, Christy, for that. And then Diana Thompson says hydrangeas. Definitely. I feel like hydrangea and roses are something you always got to have. And carnations for sure. Especially, as you know, Dave just showed you all the amazing different carnation colors that are available. And that's just a little smidget of them. There's just so many really cool things happening in the world of flowers in general. Awesome. Good. Christy says, nice tech work. Wow. I wish I could take credit for that, but that's not me. It's called Be Live. It's a really cool app. If you guys want to do like talk shows or anything like that, Be Live TV is what we use. And I like it. The only downfall is if I can't do the show, so like I don't feel good and I would have loved to like hand it off to someone else to handle, but it's connected to your Facebook account. And I have a special account so that way we can do multiple people and things like that. It's a paid subscription. And so no one else has that. And so it makes it difficult if I can't do it. And obviously next week we're going to be in Detroit for our last 2017 Mayesh Design Star Workshop. And so I couldn't postpone it because then like the next week everyone's getting ready for the holidays. But anyhow, I digress. So I feel like we're out of time for questions. Stay though with me. We're not done because I'm going to be bringing on our special guest. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Shelly, for joining me. I will see you guys next month.
You're a trooper for coming on sick. We appreciate you, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. See you next month, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to do that. Let me bring on Debbie. I'm just going to call her Shelly. I'm sorry, Debbie. All right. Hey, Debbie. How are you?
Great, Yvonne. Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm so excited to have you. Debbie Demarse is the former owner of NYC Farm Chic Flowers or Farm Chic. Is it Farm Chic or Farm Chic?
Chic. Yeah.
Farm Chic Flowers, who had a vision of doing things differently and better, which led her to develop Eco-Fresh Bouquet. And today, Debbie's here to talk about her history, her vision, and how to become more eco-friendly. Welcome, Debbie. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Well, I guess starting with how it all happened. I have the grandma story like most, except she was called Nana and tended to her rose bushes. So with that, I discovered a good love of flowers, and that took me basically to where I'm at now. Started, yes, with New York City Farm Chic Flowers. Before that, I was in San Francisco and went through the program at City College, which at the time, I'm not sure still now, if they could be rated the best in the country for floristry. That is what I attained, which was awesome. But after graduating with their certificate, I had to go back to the corporate world, back to Silicon Valley, and sell $1 million servers. So put that on hold actually for a couple decades. And then 2012 came about and I was ready to do something with flowers. So looking at all my experience in San Francisco, where the life there, it was farm to table since the 70s. So that just kind of retains in your blood. And of course it translates over to flowers. And that was just a natural thing for me to look at. Even though I was living in Brooklyn and sourcing all domestic flowers is challenging, I wanted to do it. And I did do it for 2 years. It was a lot of fun. Just had a great time. It was challenging, though, in the colder months to get domestic flowers. A lot of protea was used. By March, I was kind of done with protea. But so that was going well. The thing that kind of laid wrong with me was that I was using a big old piece of green foam to send out my domestic flowers. Just not right. It's it's not biodegradable. There had to be something better. So I went on my search late 2013 for a few months, tested fabrics from diaper to cotton from all over the world. Finally found the fabric, which a lot of you know what it is. It's called a sponge cloth, and it is very, very hydrating. It just, I don't even have one here. I should. It's the most hydrating fabric in the world, and it holds water unbelievably. Your flowers are going to die before this thing goes dry. So I knew I had something there. I tested against the competitor product and learned it held water better. And it also, it just worked. It worked. And I knew I had something there.
Yeah, I know Christy loves your product. We've used it several times in the video, and that was just because she naturally uses it and loves it.
Yeah, she uses it every day. We love her. Great supporter.
So I know you traveled and looked for it. Can you describe a little bit more about the development process?
Sure.
I just think your experience with that would be of great interest to those who are listening who might have a product development idea of their own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it was pretty rudimentary. I found the fabric, again, with great research. I took it and I did testing against the competitor product. It worked better. One thing that wasn't working with the competitor product was its design. All the corners did not touch. And so went ahead and designed a pattern and patented that pattern. Patenting is a huge thing. For anybody out there looking to patent, just don't go for the patent. Make sure your product is a viable product. Also, in product development, I had a couple companies develop some products for them, and learning from mistakes, I think, is probably the best teacher. It's invaluable information you have as you go along, and I applied a lot of it to the company now. My advice would be to look at need to haves, not nice to haves, but need to haves. Those are the kind of companies that are going to do best, taking something and redeveloping it better. When you have a need to or a nice to have, you're fighting a battle. You're trying to introduce something in the market that's not been there. It takes a long time to get a purchase, even with your need to haves. So don't start out behind the 8 ball and go for the want to have. So.
No, I think that's great. And I think it's good and important to point out that a lot of times businesses that are really successful, they're not usually the first to the market. They see something that's really great, but still can be really improved upon.
Exactly.
Amazon being probably the biggest example of that. They didn't invent anything that they're doing. They just do it the best right now. So,
yeah.
So I think that's really great. And the patent process is very complicated. I remember I'm kind of a nerd, so I got a book about patenting and what that takes and what that looks like, and it was really big. But yeah,
there's a lot to know.
Yeah, exactly. It's very interesting, the whole process.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the eco-friendly aspects of sponge wrap and the rising trend within the floral industry towards more eco-friendly and sustainable floral practices? Now that's a big hot topic. Sometimes can get
it's amazing. The eco-friendly started I would say about a decade ago. And it just keeps bleeding into different industries, one being the floristry industry. And, oh God, I would say, well, I started in 2012. So that was 5 years ago. I would say at least 5 years prior that, people were thinking about it and talking about it. It's so important. Right now, the products that are used, foam-based products, everybody knows they do not break down in landfills. So in every product you use, I know so many florists are trying to be eco-friendly, and this is just one more thing to introduce to your bag of tools that you can accomplish that goal. And it's important. All of us have the children that we're looking to look out for, and today's the day.
Yeah. Part of your development process, did you reach out to any other industry pros for product feedback and kind of tweaking the design of what you were initially developed?
Probably one of the biggest mistakes for most of the time that you don't do that, but I didn't do that. I knew I had something and I was ready to run with it. I was a florist. I knew it worked. Waiting on focus groups or opinions, it just didn't happen. For most things, I would say you'd probably do that. But with my experience, I knew we can run with this.
That's really cool. And just something a little different, just from my background experience, I worked at Progressive for a little bit as a business analyst, if you will. Had some other crazy name, but it doesn't really matter. And just simple things like new apps or like a web page or anything like that, we always took it and got it tested by like doing real life user testing. And we would make up kind of a mock-up of it. And I think that part is really important. I think definitely gets overlooked a little bit when you are developing something new, because it makes sense in your head. And I find this happens a lot, even just in my own real life with working with my team. It makes sense in my head. But when we talk to other people, or we think something looks great and we talk to other people, and then they'll see something that we completely missed. And I think that definitely lends itself really well to product development.
Yeah, that definitely is. As I introduced it, I found a lot more uses for it. I got a lot of comments. I was like, wow, I never even thought of that. So yeah, totally on the money with that, and always having eyes on even my written material. So yeah, I totally agree.
Awesome. Good. And then how have you seen your product being used within the industry, other than, maybe the standard kind of bouquet? What else?
Mm-hmm. That's been really interesting, and that's probably leads right into what you just last question. I had no idea that the product was built for flower transport, whether it be in a box of flowers or whether it be in a bouquet. That was the initial intention of the application. Well, designers kind of start popping up and letting me know about different applications that they're using it for. One of my early persons was Holly Chappell that was giving me feedback. She needed a bigger one. I had no idea. I made really big bouquets when I was in business, and I'm like, okay, nobody's gonna make a bigger bouquet than this. Well, she does, and she was instrumental in trying to help me make a pattern for that. She actually sent, this is kind of how it all started, had the idea of other applications, and I'm sure, messed around with it herself, and sent 1,000 wraps to the Detroit Flower House back a couple years ago, where we had, I don't know how many designers there, and they're picking them up and they're going, wow, what can we do with this? They started cutting them up to make large installations, taking small bouquets, cutting a little piece of the wrap up and just putting it on like normal, putting some saran wrap around it so the moisture stays in it. And just with that, you can do garland, you can do mantles, you can do hoopas, you can do stairs, you can do flower walls. So all of these things started popping up. And that is what I've seen, and I'm so happy about it. And things keep coming up. It's crazy.
That's awesome. I know, just talking about the flower house, Allie, maybe you could find our blog post from there, just so if you guys aren't familiar with that project that happened in Detroit, it was pretty amazing. Lisa Wad, one of our customers, she also has like I forget what it's called. It's like a flower truck. Maybe it's called flower truck. I don't remember. But she has like a cool business in Detroit, and she had this vision for this huge installation project with, you know, kind of houses that would have been plowed down, and just her vision was just really cool and neat. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, we'll post the link so that we can kind of check that out and see what they did there. They were one of the big.
There's a book now too.
Yeah, she created a book, and she still does, you know, some of that kind of thing that ties back to the flower house. So just another cool designer. If you guys haven't heard of her, make sure you kind of follow her and connect with her. I think it would be great. You want to talk about how far you've reached so far with your product? Because how long has this been around for?
Started developing it late 2013, introduced it January of 2014. So we're coming up on our 4th year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have, like, how many countries are you in and all of that?
I'm sorry.
How many countries are you in now?
Oh, I think it's 16. It's crazy. Right? We just got an inquiry and order from Malta. I don't even know where cool. Malta is. So it's a lot of fun to think about where we're at.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations on everything and your success so far. Do you have any closing thoughts that you want to share? Let me first, before we do closing thoughts, let me see. Do any of you guys have any questions for Debbie? I'd love to hear what your questions are. I know here's Sophie says, just placed my first EcoFresh order last week. Love your product and its eco-friendliness. That's great. I love it.
Thank you, Sophie.
Yeah. Oh, Christine is saying, what is the product called and where to get it? You want to share that information?
Sure. The product is called, well, the company's EcoFresh Bouquet. The product is sponge wraps. But don't get mixed up if somebody calls them a diaper or eco wrap. So that's what the product originally is called, sponge wraps. But you know, there's a lot of different names floating there. But you can purchase on the website. So that is www.ecofreshbouquet.com. That's
great. Cheryl, I'm sorry. I hope you can hear me now. I'm losing my voice. I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but I'm a little under the weather. I had 0 voice yesterday. I literally didn't talk all day, so I could at least have something to get through the show with, so I'm sorry. Okay, Allie posted the link for you guys, so if you want to check out the product that Debbie's been talking about, EcoFresh Bouquet, you guys will have that link there. And of course, we'll have it on our show notes. We'll have the recording there as well for you guys to listen again, and all of the notes from today's show. Texana is asking, can you show a sample and a demonstration? Do you have anything handy?
Yes. Hang on.
Live, you guys, we're gonna do it. While Debbie is getting that, Texana, I know there's Christy used the EcoFresh Bouquet wraps in a bunch of her videos, and she talks about it. I can't remember if she actually showed how she uses it, but just check out a few of those. She created some wreaths. She created an arch with, I think, Smilax, and then she popped in some flowers. She also talked about it for our latest video that we just launched for November, where she created the floral hoop and put flowers in there. She uses the bouquet wraps for that as well. So you can kind of check that out. And then Debbie's next. So you have the product, Debbie, to show everyone?
Yeah, actually, I grabbed the large size. It's kind of hard to show in the little window here, but basically, this is the shape of it. It's a home plate. What you do is first you wet it, which I don't have water here, but I'm trying to keep it in the window. You have it, and then it's kind of like a burrito. You fold this flap over, You have your stems right in here, all nice cut flush, so that you have contact. And basically, you get your stems in there and fold over and fold over, and all your stems are touching right here. And then you have your plastic bag, and you put it in your plastic bag. And after that, what you want to do is make sure that you rubber band over the sponge wrap. It's no leaking. One of the really great things is transport with these. You can stack them. So if you have bouquets, you can stack them high, so you're not worried about your buckets, with water sloshing all over the place. They can't stack. You're losing a lot of truck space and losing a lot of money. So they're just great for transport.
Very cool. Thank you. I also wanted to just thank you too, Debbie. You guys have sponsored, you're one of our sponsors this past year for our tour, and we're lucky enough to have you on again for 2018. So thank you for your support. And,
well, thank you. We've been thrilled with being part of Mayesh, the 2017 workshop tour. And again, in 2018, we couldn't be more excited and love working with your team. Colonial House too, we really want to thank them. They've been a huge supporter. We love the whole team. Christy, such a great tour this year. And she actually, gonna plug her a little bit, is doing her first Colonial House workshop. And it's December 5th and 6th. And she's partnering with Susan McCleary, who actually has been instrumental in helping us design different applications. So it is on St. Simon Island, December 5th and 6th. I'm sure they have it on the website if you want to go ahead and look at that. So, between Mayesh and Christy, it's been wonderful. And I just want to thank one other person, if I can. My sister, Kimberly, has been working with me for the last year, and I'm sure a lot of you have spoken with her. She makes calls a lot, emails. She's done the marketing. She has been wonderful and helps me keep the customers straight. So if you talk to Kimberly, that's who she is.
Awesome. Good. I have one last question for you too. Erica wants to know, do the bags come with the wrap?
Yes, they do.
Awesome.
Yeah, when you buy them in bundles of 100, and they come with 100 bags too. And one more announcement, if I could.
Of course.
Okay, well, we do sell these, as you learned, around the world. And one of the biggest challenges selling them around the world is, say, when we sell to Australia, it's $64 to ship them, and $100 is $67. So I've been getting requests for years. Okay, how can we cut the shipping cost? Well, we are going to be selling and distributing through Amazon in the UK, in Canada, and we haven't named the spot in Europe, and of course the US. So we're looking at prime customers with no shipping. We're still working out the details, and I'm kind of even scared about saying something now, but it looks like it's going to happen. So in January, it looks like a lot of you will not be paying for shipping around the world.
Amazing.
So very exciting. We're very happy about that.
Woo-woo. See, my Amazon, I knew.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Yep.
That's amazing. So great, Debbie. Do you have any other last closing thoughts that you wanted to end the interview with?
Just a thank you to you and to all the customers and all the customers that will be, my door is open. Product developers, questions about the product, email me. It's Debbie at EcoFresh Bouquet. I'm happy to help out. I love supporting other people.
Yeah, we know that, and that's one of the reasons why we make good partners. So thank you, Debbie, for coming on. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And Debbie, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to close out the show then. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks so much, Yvonne.
All right,
have a good day.
Have a great one. You too.
You too.
All right, guys, wasn't that a great show? I hope that you loved it as much as I did, learning about the process. Like I said, I'm a total geek, and learning about kind of the product development piece. And, it's always nice to see kind of what else is out there. We still I still love all of our other partners, but it's always nice to see what else is out there available for you guys to make your lives easier and support things that are important to you. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys mark your calendar for next month. I have the wrong date at the end of my notes. It's December 12th will be the next show. So I hope you can join us. If you have any questions, please send them my way. If you love this show, please share it. I need more people to watch. The more the better, right? The more the merrier to join the conversation with us. And I think that's it, guys. Dave, Shelly, and I will be back next month. Hopefully my voice will be back by then. In the meantime, send in your questions. And with that, I hope you have an amazing day. I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.